I'm going to preface the video with saying ain't no way anyone believes Obito is taking on Itachi, Nagato, and Kabuto. This video is in response to some of the scaling and circumstances Swagkage and Six made in their What If Edo Itachi Never Switch Sides video. If you're new, welcome to Kontetsukages. Let's get into why Six and Swagkage lied to you. I'll start with explaining why it's wrong. Firstly, we know Obito pre-Rinnegan is relative to, but heavily implied to be, above Pain/Nagato. This is a fact. However, we also know Obito versus Itachi is an actual argument, so for now we will say they're relative. On top of this, we can also say Obito is obviously superior to Kabuto, but he is still relative in a fight. It's not one-sided. With this, we can say both Nagato and Kabuto are definitely a challenge for regular Obito, but Obito is much more likely to win, if not guaranteed. Itachi, on the other hand, can actually be argued to win against Obito. But even if you don't agree, you have to admit it's at least an incredibly close fight, closer than Kabuto or Nagato would be. Additionally, I want to establish Jubito is stronger than Rinnegan Obito, and Rinnegan Obito is obviously stronger than Obito normally. If you disagree at this point, then you're probably just a Kamui wanking Obito fan. Hashirama only admits Obito is stronger than himself once Obito absorbs the Ten Tail. Now into the actual scaling. Jubito fought Biju Sage Mode Naruto and EMS Sasuke. To make this simpler, we will call this Sasuke Late War Sasuke, because we know he gets much stronger late war from experience. Jubito was losing against the duo. I know they had help, but this is still relevant. Rinnegan Obito was also struggling against Naruto, again with help, but this is relevant as well. In your video, you yourself say Edo Nagato on his own beats KCM1 Naruto and Killer B, who has Samehara, in a 2v1. Killer B scales somewhere between the 4th Raikage and Kisame. Based on this, it's safe to say Biju Sage Mode Naruto is greater than or equal to Edo Nagato, but clearly relative. On top of this, based on Edo Itachi's performance with Sasuke against Kabuto, it's safe to say Edo Itachi is stronger than Sasuke during their Kabuto fight. Later, Sasuke gets stronger, so Late War Sasuke is either equal to Edo Itachi, or Late War Sasuke is slightly superior. Now for Kabuto. It's hard to scale Kabuto because he only ever lost, but it was against 2 above Sannin characters. Plus, before any upgrades, he was already said to be equal to Kakashi, who was able to fight on par with Rinnegan Obito. Personally, I don't think early War Sasuke alone, at this point, is beating Kabuto, even bloodlusted. I do, however, think Itachi could beat him, alone, had he been going for the kill. So for me, Kabuto scaling goes Late War Sasuke is equal to or greater than Edo Itachi, who is greater than, but relative to Kabuto, who is greater than Early War Sasuke. Arguably, Kabuto is relative to or on par with Edo Nagato. In my opinion, based on the scaling, that's his closest power level. Also, you mentioned Kabuto's genjutsu capabilities being able to affect everyone, including his allies, but even if Itachi and Nagato were affected by Kabuto's genjutsu, if it's Tayuya's, they can just break each other out like Sasuke and Itachi using their Rinnegan and Mangekyo, or if it's the jutsu that emits the blinding light and oscillating sound, Kabuto can just control them manually while Obito is stunned, especially since, as you said, Obito doesn't have anyone to get him out of the genjutsu, plus Kabuto is still able to move freely during this. So to further establish my scaling, Jubito is relative to Biju Sage Mode Naruto plus Late War Sasuke, which is greater than Rinnegan Obito. Biju Sage Mode Naruto plus Late War Sasuke is likely greater than, but relative to, Edo Nagato plus Edo Itachi. Regular Obito is relative to Edo Nagato and Edo Itachi individually. Edo Nagato and Kabuto are relative to one another. Rinnegan Obito is obviously above regular Obito. Rinnegan Obito is above each individually, but not too much. This means Edo Itachi plus Edo Nagato plus Kabuto should be clearly superior to Rinnegan Obito. Also, I would like to point out, if Kabuto used Itachi and Nagato to beat Naruto and B, it's possible he could have one or both Naruto and B as Edos, not to mention the Kage he would have defeated could be brought to him and made into Edos depending on the time it takes to use the jutsu. Plus, I believe it is more than likely, if he had beaten more Kage, it's a guarantee Kabuto would use Edos as backup against Obito because Kabuto is smart and cautious. Since Naruto and B are taken out, all of these extra Edos are available. The 3rd Raikage, Mu, Gengetsu, Kimimaru, and it's very likely others, like many members of the Akatsuki as well as Kinkaku and Ginkaku, are able to survive thanks to the massively increased number of casualties. Naruto was fighting with at least 12 clones across the whole battlefield, saving/winning many critical fights, like when helping against Mu and defeating the 3rd Raikage. More casualties means even more free Edos to use elsewhere. Plus, in your scenario, if Itachi and Nagato are able to take out the Kage you mentioned, that would also leave Rasa able to pick up some slack, making using the other Edos even more viable. I would argue Kabuto would have at least 1 to 3 extra Edos to help him fight Obito. Plus, since the Edo Tensei wouldn't be cancelled, there would also be a strong chance to have Chiyo, Asuma, some of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, Hazashi Hyuga, Haku, Hiroi, and many more, including the potential for the anime-only Edos to make a legitimate appearance, since in the manga we likely didn't see every single Edo Tensei Kabuto was using / had at his disposal. In my opinion, if he went with just one to help him, and he knew he had to fight Obito, I would bet on Mu, solely because he is capable of an invisible sneak attack with particle style. Perfect invisibility, plus flight, plus perfect chakra signature suppression means there's no way for Obito to detect them, and then it's just a matter of Kabuto waiting for the right moment when Obito has Kamui down to attack. Even if he has to sacrifice Nagato or Itachi, the particle style would be a one-shot. After Mu, if he had others, I would guess the third Raikage isn't unlikely since he would be a powerhouse who is difficult for Obito to take out, and he is decently fast compared to the other Edos. Then I would guess someone from the Akatsuki or whoever Kabuto thinks can handle Kamui the best. Maybe even Haku for her Ice Mirror. But regardless, 3v1? This is a stomp against Rinnegan Obito, unless you give him the Jinchuriki, which you decided would be best if he didn't, and I agree for the same reason, but also, it's entirely possible since the Jinchuriki are both Edo Tensei and Obito's Paths of Pain, that Kabuto could control them, or at the very least return them to their coffins. Not to mention there's a very real possibility Nagato with his Rinnegan could also attempt to control Obito's Paths of Pain, or at least fight for control, combined with the help of Kabuto's Edo Tensei control, likely overriding Obito's control. Edo Nagato plus Edo Itachi, in my opinion, is already a very tough fight for Rinnegan Obito. Plus there's the fact that Obito can't offensively use Kamui against any of them, since if he had someone inside Kamui, they could attack him when he used it defensively, meaning he is cut off from using Kamui offensively against anyone besides Kabuto. And Kamui against Kabuto isn't necessarily a win condition for Obito either. It's not impossible a reverse summon could free Obito. Kabuto may have an Edo Tensei he could use to specifically get him out of the Kamui dimension, and the Edo Tensei are still around if Kabuto is in the Kamui. Worst case scenario, Kabuto is in the Kamui dimension forever, or until he develops a space-time ninjutsu or Obito kills him in a 1v1, and the Edos eventually kill Obito. So in conclusion, 6 and Swagkage lied to you all because they are Obito fanboys. Obito gets absolutely bodied by this squad. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content, and if you have any video suggestions or feedback, please comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe with the notification bell if you made it to this point in the video.